So, good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Top Biller series. Some recruiters talk their way to deals. My guest today listened his way to $500,000 in billings. I'm joined by Jack Burns from Raw Selection, a recruiter who's billed over 600,000. His edge? Patience. Jack listens so well that clients end up giving him all the answers, and he turns their own words into solutions they can't resist. Jack, welcome to episode 6.
Good to be here, Josh.
Good to have you down in the headquarters.
Yeah.
So can you start by shedding some light on these figures that you've achieved, please?
Sure. So I think best year I had was about 640 in total billings. That was attributed to myself. Second best year was about 550, 560, something like that.
Yeah.
And then I've done north of 300k a few times as well.
Okay, so tell us how you went from 300 to where we are today.
Better clients, people that are easier to work with, and more straightforward about what they want from the candidates that they've got. I think just spending more time in the same space, so just sticking at it and spending a lot of time there.
You have been with Raw Selection how many years?
It's been 6 years.
6. We've worked together for about 15 months, the last 15 months.
Yeah.
You are somebody who is an active listener, I would say, someone who I've witnessed and listened to calls where you're not saying a great deal and letting the client talk about their problems and the implications and almost talk themselves into doing a deal with you. What prevents you from wanting to jump in knowing the answers?
I think sometimes it's best in life, and not just in recruitment, but in many situations, just to shut up and let the other person speak.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty important. You can find out more from people by them saying something rather than you saying something. So sometimes it is best just to let people talk. Listen to what they have to say, and then you can come in with your own thoughts. You don't want to be the one doing all the talking. I think in most situations in life, that can be pretty good advice as well.
Tips and tricks of the trade. What sort of things do you do that you think are beneficial that maybe others might not be doing?
I think again, just listening to people, asking the right sort of questions, thinking about what problem can you actually help solve. You're not just trying to sell somebody something. At the end of the day, all this, there is a problem that needs fixing within that person's business, and it's likely that they're going to get some flack for it if it doesn't get fixed. So it's your job to help them. It's not your job to take money from them. It's your job to say, we need to go from X to Y. We need this sort of person to be able to do it. And then it's your job to go and help find that person. It's not your job to take money from them. And I think people think, oh, it's just my job to get 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 grand out of somebody, when in reality, you're there to help someone. So
your ethos is more about providing the solution and the money comes after.
Yeah, well, I think you've got to see if it's a good working relationship between yourself, that company, that person. First of all, are they being realistic? Are they asking for something but want to spend half the market rate? Do you want a Premier League footballer, but you want to pay bottom end Championship wage? It's not really going to cut it. So it's that type of ethos and trying to help them navigate their own problem. And I think as well, walking away from people that aren't quite right to work with, as I do on quite a regular basis.
Yeah, which is hard for someone newer to the game. What would your advice be to somebody who wants to make their mark, wants to start making those billions, they're new to the industry? How do you get people like that to go, it's not quite for me, I need to ask more questions, but then they've got the target above their head as well?
I think especially if you're new in recruitment, it's really important. You have I'd say, give yourself 24 hours to be sad about anything and 24 hours to be happy about anything that's gone well or wrong for you. And just don't get too up, don't get too down. I know it's a cliche, but there's just no point getting angry or upset or frustrated. So if you have a call with somebody and there was something there that you could have got some business out of, and you feel like you've messed it up, just listen to it back if you can. Think about what you do differently, and just go from there. You don't need to change 10 things on every single call. It could just be one or two things different each time.
Yeah.
And just because you've heard someone else say something doesn't mean that you need to say it, because it might sound weird coming out of your mouth. So like if you're speaking to somebody and you've heard your boss or like the top of that's sat next to you says a certain thing, doesn't mean you need to say that. I mean, try it by all means, but just because it works for them doesn't mean it's going to work for you. So you've got to try and be your own person on it as well.
Yeah, I think that's really important. That's something that I see every day, is that a lot of consultants, certainly newer consultants, have been told, or they've been given a script, but then they've got to put their own print on it. They've got to put their own way of asking those questions and having their own character, rather than sort of trying to emulate their boss or someone who they think they should sound like. You know, we're all different characters, and the clients and the candidates are also a mix of different colours. So ultimately, you are going to speak to the right people. Just keep at it.
Yeah, I think so as well. And there's plenty of recruiters out there, and there'll be plenty of idiots that you'll sit next to in your career that'll say something just pretty stupid.
Yeah.
And like you're a couple of weeks into the game and you hear someone say something, doesn't mean it's the right thing to say. So there's that to take into account as well.
Yeah, the best advice I could give a rookie is go speak to the person that's doing well, not the person that's the most vocal, who not necessarily is making money.
Yeah, try to speak to somebody like yourself as well. I think that's quite important.
Yeah.
So
similar.
If you're someone who's quite direct, I'd go and speak to quite a direct person in the office. If you're quite chatty and you enjoy like the back and forth of the conversation, your calls probably go on for a bit longer. Again, find someone in your office that's quite like you and understand their mannerisms, their patterns, the sort of questions that they ask. I think that's important as well.
Okay. Walk me through a typical day.
Yeah, first, we do a lot of work in the US, so my early mornings, what I'd call like written communication, so like LinkedIn messages, emails, admin sent the day, doing all the sourcing, all the processes, getting all the search updates out, doing all of that side of things. Any internal conversations that need to take place, we'll doing that fraction. You've got to have something healthy for lunch, have some good energy, and then at the end from like 1 to like 7, 8 o'clock is just calls, catching up with clients, catching up with candidates, interviewing people, sending them over to clients, trying to win new business, flipping candidates in the back half of the day. I think if you do the US market, that's the best way to split your day up. Do all your written stuff in the morning, emails, all that type of thing, and then at the end of the day, or sorry, for your second half or last 2/3 of the day, book all your meetings and calls in there.
When it comes to client strategy, what's your plan?
My plan is usually working candidates, so people that I know that are strong from within my network that have come from maybe a different search, sending them to various different competing type businesses and just outlining why you think they'd be a good fit. Try and be as targeted and specific as possible in your outreach of explicitly why this person's a good fit, maybe beyond the industry as well. So looking at the size of the company that you're sending them to, has this person worked for a similar size business, that type of thing. You do it because we do a lot of C-suite work. I'm not going to send the CEO of a $500 million business to a $50 million business because it's chalk and cheese. Like it's a completely different ball game at that point.
Yeah.
So it's about just finding a few little specifics in the email when you send out to people and show that you've actually paid a little bit of attention into what this business does, the sort of size of business that it is, and then also the sort of like the aspects of the candidate, why you think they'd be a good fit for them.
How often are you chasing up those emails?
If someone replies to me, I'll just call them every day. The old Grant Cardone method. I do it with candidates, clients, anything. If someone tells me they're interested in working with me, or it's a candidate who I think is really good for a certain position that we've got on, you phone them every day until one of you dies, or they say no. Like that's how you have to play this. And if it's someone really good, I'll call them twice a day. A lot of iPhones these days, they go, people have them on do not disturb. You've got to ring them twice. So if I call somebody and immediately goes to voicemail, I'll ring them again, because you've got a much better chance of getting through to that person rather than waiting another 24 hours to call them again. So I think the double ring can be quite effective as well.
So let's talk a little bit about mindset and motivation in your office, the leaderboard. There's a number of people in your company who are doing some serious figures. What keeps you motivated other than the leaderboard? I
think it's just like the love of the game. Like I enjoy doing this job. Like I've had plenty of jobs in my life that I didn't enjoy doing when I was a lot younger. Gardening, stuff like that, which I really hate doing. Loads of manual labour, and like this job is so much more fun than any of that. So like if you genuinely enjoy recruitment, Like, I think to be successful in recruitment, you actually have to enjoy the day to day. You can't just be chasing the number on the top of the board, because once you hit there, you'll get that like arrival fallacy of, oh, I've hit this number, whether it's 200k, 300k, 400k, 500k. Like, some people hit a number and they're like, oh, it's actually not that exciting. The number on the leaderboard's just a bit different, and then the number in my bank account's a bit bigger. But like, there's not always something there, there's no big parade. These flares don't go off in the office. Like, you're not a different person at the end of it. So you've got to enjoy what you do each day, enjoy the journey. I think that's really important as well.
Yeah, so that's, it's a hard slog, isn't it?
Yeah, it can be a hard slog 99% of the time. Nothing's easy.
But that 1% for.
Oh, yeah, you get one easy thing every 2 years, I reckon. And that's how it works.
Speaking of the 99%, how do you handle rejection?
Just like how you handle rejection in most forms of life, you take it on the chin like a grown man and you just move on. There's no point getting annoyed about it for more than 24 hours. But certain bits of rejection, just not got to let it phase you. You got to have skin like a rhinoceros. Just thick.
That is something that I have seen about you, is you don't take it to, these sort of negativity from whether it be a candidate dropping out or a client changing their mind. You just sort of roll with the punches and you go on to the next thing. Yeah,
just like, if it's something really bad, just get really angry about it for 5 minutes. Take yourself away, and then just get yourself a coffee, a glass of water, and just crack back on. Like, no one's died at the end of the day. Like, it's not life or death. Like, you will survive. There'll be another candidate you can find. There'll be another client you can talk to. Like, nothing really that bad is going to happen. And that's the advice that I give new people as well. Like, no matter how stressful it is, whether it's your first month, your first 6 months, if something goes wrong, it's not life or death. No one's actually going to die. Your leg's not going to fall off, despite as much as your boss might be trying to tell you that, if you don't get this deal over the line, the world's going to fall apart, the office is going to burn down. It just doesn't work like that. So just accept it is what it is, and move on and try out the next time.
Productivity. How do you keep going and putting the numbers in when and not get burnout?
Easiest way to not get burnout is just to stand up every 5-10 minutes every hour, move around the office. Don't just sit locked into your computer for hours and hours on end, because your eyes will just start drying out and you'll just be absolutely knackered, and you'll be sick of work after a couple of hours every day. So I think that's a big thing. It's pretty easy. Just stand up. Try and enjoy your job as well. So if there's anyone new watching this and you're 6 months into recruitment and you hate every single minute of your life, just leave. Just do something else. If it's really that bad and you find this job that stressful and it's causing you that much pain and despair, and you're beyond 6 months or you're a year into the job and you hate every aspect of it, just don't do it. It's not for you. Whereas, yeah, you got to enjoy it. If you're having fun, I'm having a good time, I'm enjoying different aspects of the role, and that's what keeps me in it. But if there's no enjoyment in it for you and you're literally just grinding away and you hate your life, put the phone down, put the laptop down, and just go do something else. There's plenty of other jobs out there.
True. On the flip side, someone who wants to become the next top biller, what advice would you give them?
Get thicker skin. Yeah, skin like a rhino. Just listen back to your calls. Make as many notes as possible. Think about what you're actually saying and the sort of questions that you're going to ask. Listen to as many people, whether that's your prospects, your candidates, clients you're working with, people around you. Just take as much information on board as possible, and just, you're not going to make big leaps. You're not just going to put 500k on the board in one day. So just try and be slightly better than you was yesterday, and that's all you can really ask from yourself. Yeah,
good advice. What's one myth that you'd like to bust about recruitment?
So I think, there's plenty of terrible recruitment firms out there.
Yeah.
They're not all like that. I'm not just saying this because I work at Raw Selection, but it's a nice environment. We don't really tolerate a lot of what you probably call the old school recruitment type behaviour that I won't go into because it's probably a bit early in the day. So there's that aspect of it. So I think that's one myth you can bust. And from a lot of people I've spoken to, there's a lot of firms like ours out there where you do actually get treated like a human being, and it's not just a 7-1-9 sweatshop type environment. So there are places out there like that, but I'd say that it's not all like that. There's plenty of good recruitment firms. So if you are thinking about getting into the industry, or you are in a business that is an absolute sweatshop. There is light at the end of the tunnel, and maybe one day you'll get the privilege of getting to work with me at Raw Selection, and you'll get all your sales training done by Mr. O'Malley here, and you'll have a wonderful career.
And influencers and authors, books that you're reading or read that you would recommend, things that you've learned that you're implementing from, say, outside of the industry.
I think I'm a big YouTube man, and that's not because I'm like really lazy. I find it really hard to concentrate and like read books. I'm sure there's plenty of other people out there like that. My dyslexia is pretty bad as well, so it takes me a while to like actually get through a full book. So I've been more of like a YouTube man. Watch 10, 15-minute videos on how to do something, and then do sort of like trial and error. Like I've read a couple of, well, I say I've listened to some audio books about recruitment to get some of the basics in, a couple of top biller books. I think podcasts that you can find as well, listen to other people within the industry is always something interesting that you can do.
What types of people? I mean, you mentioned Grant Cardone earlier.
Oh, good old Grant Cardone. Terrible bloke, great sales advice.
Yeah. A bit like Jordan Belfort.
Yeah, we get another terrible bloke, but good sales advice. Maybe there's a bit of a theme here.
Yeah, just don't go to prison.
Yeah, try not to go to jail.
BD weapon of choice.
Well, it depends how many times I've said no to me.
Okay. Let's say they said no.
Said no.
What's the comeback?
Oh, just say no. I'll just be like, we'll just ask them why. I say that's a good weapon.
Yeah, definitely.
Questions are your best weapons. Yeah, it's not a no until they put the phone down.
Yeah, why is a classic? It's the first question we learn, isn't it?
Yeah.
In life as we grow up.
Yeah. Why would you not do this? Is always a good one. So if someone's telling you you've got a problem and you're giving them a solution, it's why is your problem not big enough? Why don't you think we can solve your problem? And these are all objections that you need to overcome and try and understand a little bit more about the person you deal with. It might be their problems as big as they first got laid out for you. Also might be that or their problem's really big and they don't think you can solve it, which is fair enough because there's millions of recruiters out there and most of them are terrible.
Client objection you secretly enjoy handling.
Secretly enjoy handling.
Yeah.
Oh, I like it when they think we're no good.
Okay.
So I like to understand why, especially when you're on your first call with somebody, I like trying to win somebody over. Because like I said, I mean, Josh might cut it out, but I said that, there's a lot of terrible recruiters out there. So it is
twice now.
Twice, you've got to leave it in there. So there might be, there's a lot of like recruitment firms out there that let people down. Is that a better way of phrasing it?
Yeah, perfect. We'll keep that within.
Yeah, there's a lot of recruitment firms out there that have let people down on numerous occasions, and your prospect will think you're just like them until they get to know you, until you ask the right sort of questions, until you engage in a sort of type approach with them. And once you can go down that way of thinking, you'll be in a much better position to win clients over.
It's all about building a relationship.
Yeah.
In an incredibly quick time.
Yeah, I think that's important. Like, there's two ways of doing sales: is getting people to like you and getting people to trust you. And trust is way more important than people getting to like you. A lot of people out there will fall into I'm quite a likable person, so people want to do business with me. Like, you'll make a few like deals out of that, but you won't make that many. You need to transfer the trust from your prospect to you, so they believe that you can solve their problem. I'd say that's one of the most important things that people need to understand.
Don't break the trust.
Yeah, don't break the trust. Do what you say you're going to do. Don't be one of these recruiters that promises that you're going to get them 1 million candidates in 5 minutes if you can't. Like, I'd say that's one aspect to follow as well.
Okay. One final question from me. What's your prep before doing a big call?
Big call. Well, I try not to think of any calls as like big calls. Like, any call I'm going to have with anybody, just try and treat it the same. Depending on the call. If it's a company I want to work with, just do a bit of background digging on the website. I mean, if you're having a call with somebody, they should already be within your wheelhouse. If not, you're just wasting your time because you're just going to take on a search that you can't fill. So I'd say if you stay within your niche, you should be able to understand what their company does. Have questions that you need to ask to be able to get a basic understanding so you can qualify the person that you're going to speak to. So on a client aspect, I do that. If it's a big call, I need to have a candidate, we're sorting an offer out. again, it's important that you listen to them, I think, as well, and be prepared to not do a lot of talking on the conversation. If it's you've got a candidate who's, let's say, they're hesitant about taking an offer, it's just trying to listen to them, understand, potentially what's upset them, what's put them off. Because at one point they were interested, so it's what's changed.
Yeah.
Again, it's just a lot of listening to them, having a conversation with them, and trying to understand what their thought process is, and see if you can influence them, or see if you need to pull them out of the process. Because again, that's something that happens, and unfortunately, all too often.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Let's open up to our audience for questions.
No, that's really interesting. Thank you for all that Rhino talk. How much of your work is retained to contingency?
I'd say the majority of my billings over the past 3, 4, 5 years now have been like retained business. It's not that I try and avoid doing contingent work. It's just that when you end up with a certain retainers, you just have to prioritize them. So that's the main reason for it. I've not necessarily done it by design, but I think when you do retain work, like you engage in a partnership with the company that you're working with, and I feel like they just get a better quality of service from you. Like if someone's paid me money up front to do something and they want to have a call at 1 a.m, there's a good chance to put some time aside and sacrifice a bit of sleep to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if it's someone that's not paid me, I'll probably just put the call off till the next day. And it's just one of those types of things, I'd say, Johnny.
No, I agree. Thank you.
Yeah, good. We've got a couple of questions that have popped up in our chats. Any hacks you can provide for time management?
Yeah. Oh, delete things off your calendar. Delete them out of their inbox if you like. If it's have a system, like if it's something really far removed from the thing and you've got a load of work to do or something more important, just get Outlook out and just drag it over to the next day. If it's not that important, just because you put it in your calendar doesn't mean you need to do it at that time. So you've got to be grown up about it. Assess if this is really going to serve you in the short term. Do you have something more important that you need to get on with? Like, there's nothing wrong with cancelling a meeting if it's not that important right now. If you've got something more important to do, and I don't mean like go down to the pub or anything like that. If you've got something more important business related that you need to attend to make, to improve, like help and improve your career, that should be what you prioritize, not any meeting you put in your calendar just because it's there.
Jack, hi. It sounds like you are a busy individual. Do you take time to step back and reassess?
Stay back and reassess. Yeah, self-reflection is important. I should probably do more of it. So okay. Yes and no. Sometimes you probably don't reassess until you've made a load of mistakes, and then that's like the trigger point. It's good. We're big on feedback here at Raw Selection as well. So a lot of the time, like you'll get some feedback, and then that'll give you a point of reassessment.
Okay. Final question. What's the biggest deal you've done?
Biggest deal I've done, probably like 140k, something like that.
Okay.
I think it was CEO position, Mississippi.
Okay. Well, thank you. That wraps up episode 6. Thanks very much, Jack, for joining me, and we'll be back next week.